Failure also is something that leaders don't like to consider or think about, but failure and reinvention are reoccurring themes in any great leader. And you have two great lessons about J.K. Rowling and the Uber founder, and they gave up on earlier efforts before finding success, even though the public persona is they just persevered and their initial projects were overwhelming successes. They just had to be resilient in those times in which they were getting failure after failure.
Right. LinkedIn is full of hype posts, right? JK Rowling was rejected by 20 something publishers. The founders of Uber were turned down when they initially asked for VC investment. And LinkedIn really holds those up. But what's beneath it is both of those people and every other successful leader out there had failures prior to that. They had things they gave up on. So when we tout this narrative of it's all about persistence and you never give up, we delude people to wasting a lot of time on ideas they should cut ties with. And part of self leadership is being able to accept when something isn't working, being a project you're working on, a product you're launching, your job, your organization. When you can say, okay, pure grit, it's not going to change the outcome on this one. You give yourself permission to pivot. And that is what so many of us are looking for in this moment.
Such a great message to hear that failure is not the end. Initial setbacks do not define your long term success, as evidence in those two stories. And recognize when to pivot, when to give up and abandon a path that's not working. The sunk cost is real. And many people just go down that path too far before saying, I just need to stop and give up. But giving up doesn't mean I'm giving up on my dream. I'm just going to find another pathway towards